Bu Dewi, it's so lovely to see you here in Jakarta. You come to Indonesia often?
Well, once or twice a year, every year, yes.
So once or twice a year, every year. And how do you
It's always
feel?
such a pleasure to see my old friends. Many of them already passed away, but I have new friends that it's really a pleasure to see them and to share the time.
Yeah, but how do you feel every time you come to Indonesia?
How do I feel?
Yeah, what does it make you feel?
Well, you know, I used to live here altogether 21 years, and I have so many memories. And then always it's a pleasure to see such a development. You know, when I came here, let's say 56 years ago, and today, what a difference. You know? Yeah.
So let's just stop here for a moment and reminisce, because we're in such a beautiful garden with a beautiful weather, and you always look so lovely and charming. Okay, so what is it that keeps you busy these days? I mean, where you come to Indonesia once or twice a year, but where do you live normally?
Oh, I live in Tokyo now because I work there. I work for a Japanese television company for several channels. And it gives me a pleasure. Yes.
So what do you do for this television company? What kind of shows that you
I have several. I have a talk show, variety show, travel, cuisine, and a quiz. And most of the time I give my comments. Yes.
And this is a popular show?
Yes, very, yes.
So if we go to
Japan.
Japan...
I work for Channel 4, 6, 8, and 10, and 12. NHK, maybe twice a year only. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about one of the shows that you do. What is it that you do, and what do you host, and who do you have as your guest? Oh,
sometimes recent affair, troubles,
current affairs, issues.
That's right. I have two regular ones. One is Japanese women who married a foreign person and then lives in abroad. And then that gives that country's different customs, the system, circumstances, the different way of life that Japanese wife have facing, and then also its history of that country. And it's very interesting for Japanese people who has never been to Portugal, or who has never been to Brazil, or who never been to Africa. Some Japanese women married to very remote country, you know.
With very different cultures.
Yeah, different
like
culture.
You yourself did. Yes. Like you yourself did. But we'll talk about that later. But how did you get into television? I mean...
I have always been interviewed since I was married to late President Soekarno. Each time I am in Japan, I have been interviewed many times. But as a guest of some television program was starting about 15 years ago. Then I was living in New York. Then I was back and forth between Tokyo and New York. Then I became so popular as a television personality. The needs was demanding me to stay in Japan.
And to be a host of the program. Yeah. What do they call you there? How do they pronounce it? Dewi Fujin. What does that mean?
It's like Ibu Dewi, like a Begum Dewi, Madam Dewi.
So I should call you Dewi Fujin. Do you enjoy doing these TV shows?
Yes, of course. Yes. And then I do many things that people think it's impossible to do.
Such as what?
Such as you are on top of dolphin. Dolphin. And then you are
you have to sit on the dolphin.
No. Standing on the dolphin and surfing.
On top of the dolphin?
Yes, I will show you.
Okay, but
I can send you the film.
But was it difficult?
And then I will be doing like a circus from the one, how do you go? In Japan it's called blank.
It's like like an acrobatic, or?
Yes, from the one to the other, how do you call that?
Well, some kind of hanging...
How do you call that?
A trapeze, a flying trapeze.
Trapeze, that's it, trapeze.
You have to do that.
I don't have to, but I challenge because everybody says it is impossible to do. Okay, I challenge. I'm 74 years old, but I would love to challenge things that people say it is impossible to do. Okay, I challenge, and I managed to do it in 2 days.
In 2 days?
Yes, and that, you know, spirit of challenging gives me youth.
The energy.
Keeps me, it's a positive energy that I get.
Well, no wonder your show is very popular. But tell me, riding on a dolphin, was that difficult?
Riding dolphin, of course I fall to the water many times, but I also managed to do it in 2 days.
Wow, that's amazing.
I can even show you the film.
Okay, we'll take a look at the film later.
And I did the skydiving from 4,000 meters high. I did the skydiving. I did the bungee jump.
Oh my God!
Yeah, because
even I haven't done any of those things. It's
so
amazing.
I give the encouragement for the all Japanese ladies by doing that things that people think is impossible for 74 years old lady to do. I managed to make it.
And you love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love challenging.
You think 5, 10 years from now you'll still be doing the same thing?
I hope so. Cross the finger.
Okay, so other than television, what else do you do? What keeps you busy?
I do also lecture, talk show. I go all over, almost all over the big cities in Japan because they request me to talk. And then I speak about women's life, about world topics, about a little bit of politics, a little bit of culture, a little bit of everything, you know. And then also I have an NPO called Earth Aid Society, and we help those refugees who are sacrificed of politics. Yeah.
So, and you also
like for North Korea, I gave 120 tons of rice. I brought it myself in Pyongyang station, and I gave it to North Korean Red Cross Society. I brought all the rice,
the rice
from Thailand, China, by the
by land or
no train.
By train.
And I give to, a Pyongyang station to the Japanese Red Cross Society.
Why do you do these things? I mean, these are charity works that you're doing.
Why? Because I feel I have to do, because the North Korean people were suffering for lack of food, you know. And then also I went to Kashmir when they had, it was some years ago, when they had a huge earthquake. I went myself and I brought 3,556 warm clothes and 2,500 blankets. And I brought it myself. I didn't just ship it. I brought it myself, and I gave it to Pakistani Red Cross Society.
But during the Japanese earthquake in Fukushima, were you also
I went
involved?
21 times. Yeah, I'm sorry. I went 3 times, and I visited 21 different places. And then also I am fighting for animal. I have myself 15 dogs.
15 dogs.
Yes.
And
you know, in Japan, there were how do you call the dogs that is brought to the
shelter, like a dog shelter, like an animal shelter.
Instead of the shelter, they kill the dogs and the cats.
Okay, euthanasia, or they put them down because they're strays.
The people give up having dog and cat, and they throw.
And so you.
And we were trying. No, we try to stop. We try to make a regulation for the breeder that all the breeders should have a license. So they should show how much capital they have, if they have the clean places or not, and then if they are experienced or not. We have to make a regulation because there are many black market breeders, and they are producing too many dogs and too many cats just for selling business, you know. So
you have 15 dogs. That must keep you very busy.
Yeah.
Are they all different?
Let's go inside.
Yeah,
Let's get inside.
Okay, let's continue our conversation inside.
It's cooler, more pleasant.
Yeah, cooler. This is a lovely house, isn't it? So, Ibu Dewi, I mean, I know a lot of your stories have been, covered in the media, written and everything, but I still want to hear it directly from you of the first time that you met President Soekarno. I mean, I know that then you were 19 years old. Could you give us a little bit of the sense of what it was like for you as a 19-year-old meeting the President of the Republic of Indonesia then?
Of course, he had such a charisma, and from his face, the eyes, the big, large eyes that was overflowing the humanity, and he had such a generous heart, and he was a hero. He was 13 years in jail and exile, and he has a man of such a strong will, conviction, and who overcome such a suffering and went through such
so many
difficult challenges, and then to get independence. He was somebody so extraordinary, and you feel like you get thundered, bang, like this.
Where was it that you first time you met him and you laid eyes on him? And can you remember, what was it the first thing that he said to you or when you met him?
Oh, we just introduced, I just introduced myself. I gave my name. It was, in fact, it was a simple tea party which I was taken. I wasn't invited. My friends were invited. Yes, in Tokyo, and I was taken, and then I was introduced. And then, of course, everybody was sitting down, and he was like...
he was the center of attention.
Yes, of course. And he was, as I say to you...
You went up to him.
I was introduced to him, and I was offered a tea. And then, I was so amazed with his knowledge about Japan. I understand while he was in jail, he has been learning English, Dutch, of course he was speaking Dutch, Russian, and as well as Japanese language. And he was so keen about Japanese history, and he could tell me every hero of Japan, and then he also knew which year, what kind of order that Prince Shotoku Taishi has made, or what Toyotomi Hideyoshi has done, and so forth. And he loved the Saigo, the recent hero at Meiji period. And then he was admiring all this Japanese historical figure. And I was so amazed at how come he is so aware of Japan history.
Was it love at first sight?
No. I won't even dare to say it was a love. No, it was like I was made in serving a God because he was so great, The love comes much later.
You were introduced by a friend. Was it because at that time President Soekarno visited Japan a lot?
Yes, he had the first few days official visit, and after it was an unofficial visit, and I met him at the unofficial visit time. Then he invited me to come to Indonesia for 2 weeks, and at that time I was thinking, should I marry or should I, So I said to myself,